So Apple's market cap is $3 trillion and India's GDP is $2.7 trillion. So comment below with your thoughts as to do you think that this problem is worrisome? I would love to read your comments. Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So on today's video, I'm going to have a discussion with you regarding monopoly tech stocks. What type of tech stocks you should be buying, whether or not you should be buying that in India or the US. If you're looking to buy some tech stocks in India, what kind of tech stocks you can consider. This is the primary essence of the discussion that we are going to have today. This is a very important video from the point of view that the tech industry is shaping at a rapid pace. Almost everything that we do is getting reshaped by the usage of tech. So therefore, please listen to this video very carefully, make notes, because going forward, I would not be surprised if 50, 60, 70% of our portfolio is made up of tech, given how fast the tech is developing and the number of opportunities that are there in this space. Before I jump into the nitty-gritties and do a fundamental analysis and present my thesis, why I feel what type of tech companies are going to go really big, let me just show you the stock that I've purchased very recently, and it's a big tech stock. Here is me making a live purchase, and okay, tata bye-bye to people who just came for the stock recommendation. So see me making the live clip, it's Amazon, and then I will speak about the fundamental analysis. So now comes the question, okay, Akshat, why did you purchase like a tech monopoly stock? Because you have said on your channel multiple times that you're an investor in emerging tech and you are a very big believer in that. Is that story killed now? The answer is absolutely not. I'm still a very big investor in emerging tech. Companies like UiPath, Coinbase, Shopify, all these companies I still have in my portfolio. I am not selling. I'm keeping a long-term view. But over the last few months, I have been reading quite a lot about tech, how these tech companies are shaping up, what kind of investments they are making. And that prompted me to make this tweet. The more I learn about tech, the more I'm convinced that these big players that are there, for example, Facebook, Meta, Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, all these companies are going to stay. So now let me present a fundamental overview by discussing three specific but very important questions with you. So let us get started with the analysis. So question number one on which you need absolute clarity is that what is the difference between monopoly tech stocks versus non-monopoly tech stocks? So according to me, the primary difference between a tech monopoly and a tech non-monopoly would be the difference between TCS and Amazon. Now I'm not doing this analysis from criticizing any particular company. I'm just presenting a thoughtful analysis here. So according to me, a monopoly tech stock will have three specific traits. First thing is that it will have an ecosystem play. So ecosystem play simply means that, for example, Amazon is getting into a range of different industries. For example, right from cloud computing to getting into artificial intelligence now, to getting into RPA. Majority of the storefronts are being managed through RPA, artificial intelligence, and bunch of different things. Even in terms of the primary business of Amazon, it has an integration of delivery and its digital services via Amazon Prime. So if you own Amazon Prime, you can order groceries really fast. Plus, this gives Amazon Prime subscribers an opportunity to stream Amazon Prime also. So the point I'm trying to make is that Amazon as a company is so big that it is present across different ecosystems, and it is trying to win in almost all of these ecosystems. You can't say that, you know what, Amazon Prime is really bad compared to Netflix. No, Netflix might be good, but Amazon Prime is equally competing really hard and they are also winning a lot of customers. So this is the first specific trait of a monopoly tech stock. The second specific trait is that they have massive expansion opportunities. For example, right now there is a great narrative that is going on in terms of metaverses. Now, if you ask yourself a question that, hey, does Amazon have the capability to create its own metaverse? It might not become a company that is entirely metaverse focused, but it definitely has the ability to create a subset of metaverses. For example, it can create a shopping metaverse. It can also create social metaverse. For example, if you have membership of Amazon Prime and if you buy Amazon Oculus or whatever, and you can transport yourself into an Amazon metaverse, you can sit with your friends and watch a show together. That sounds futuristic, but Amazon definitely has the capability of doing that. Same goes for cryptocurrencies. Let's assume that cryptocurrencies gain mass adoption. Then do you think that Amazon will struggle in terms of accepting cryptocurrency payments, or they might struggle in terms of acquiring companies that are in the crypto space? No, right? So from that particular perspective, the expansion opportunities for something like Amazon are immense. Third and final point, because we are speaking about monopolies, these monopolies believe in the vision of world dominance. They might not say it out loudly, but for example, if you take a look at Amazon's primary business, which is to sell stuff online, or their e-commerce website, you will clearly see that Amazon has started replacing a lot of companies with their primary labels. It is called as Amazon Basics. So that is a brand that Amazon owns now, and they keep on releasing best performing products and keep killing the businesses of small people also. So the point I'm trying to tell you is that this world dominance aspirations are clearly there, and they have the ability to do it. They have the skill set to do it, and they can keep on creating these ecosystems and keep winning big in the market. Now, if you compare this with something like TCS. Now, unfortunately, majority of the TCS's business is dependent on other parties. If other US based companies are giving TCS business, then TCS will have a business. If they decide not to give TCS business, then TCS or Infosys goes away. So these are not tech monopolies because they are dependent on others in a way. They don't have very clear expansion plans, and they definitely cannot go and create multiple ecosystems where they become irreplaceable. So I hope this helps you understand the difference between tech monopolies and companies that are good tech companies. For example, TCS is a good tech company, but is it a tech monopoly? The answer is absolutely not. Now comes the second interesting question as to why is it that tech monopoly stocks are winning in the market. So now let me present you my thesis in a few simple bullet points. The first key point that you need to understand is, and take a look at this particular graph, this is for the US. And this red line shows the wealth controlled by top 1% people in the US. And this blue line shows the wealth controlled by the bottom 50% in the US. Now, what do you see from 1980s? You will clearly see that the income inequality is rising by the day. Every single year, almost, the wealth of top 1% people has gone up and up and up, and the wealth of the bottom 50% has gone down and down and down. This is not by design. This is not just some fate playing its hand. These are systematic issues that our economy is going through, and there is a very specific reason why. And for this, let me present a comparative analysis of Walmart and Amazon. At one point in time, Walmart was a much bigger company than Amazon. So if you are considering 1990s, 2000, and this trend continued till 2015, right? Now, a few very interesting observations from this chart is that first, if you take a look at Walmart, its company size has somewhat remained constant. It has barely moved. It has not given any uprun. On the flip side, you will see Amazon. So let me change the color. You will see Amazon literally skyrocketing from 2010 onwards. It has been on an upward trajectory, and from here, the story has completely changed. So let me do it with a different color. So from this pink line, the story has completely changed from here. There has been a very, very massive spike. This entire gradient that you see, it has changed. So what has precisely happened, and why is it that Amazon grew so much? The answer lies in 2000's dot-com bubble. So what happened was that internet started to gain a lot of utility amongst masses from early 2000s onward. And this trend has only picked up. This has changed literally everything. If I ask you some very basic questions here, for example, how much time people used to spend on the internet in early 2000s? The answer would be maybe like half an hour. How much time do you spend surfing the internet? The answer might be 6, 7, 8 hours also. Then, how much time do you spend on phone right now? Probably like 3, 4 hours a day. How much time were you spending back in early 2000? Very less. What I'm trying to prove is that everything right now is being shaped by technology in multiple ways. I don't know if it's a slogan, so correct me if I'm wrong. So Netflix's biggest competitor, it is said, is sleep. So literally now we have gotten to a point where tech is forcing you not to sleep so that you can consume more tech. So that is the world we are living in. And if you feel that this narrative is going to change, the answer is no. I think we are deeply ingrained in tech now, and we will keep on using more and more and more tech. So this brings us back to the story of 2000s, that when the dot-com bubble burst, there were a handful of companies that survived that internet crash, and Amazon was one such company, and it started gaining a lot of scale from early 2000s onwards. And from 2015 onwards, Amazon has been on an acquisition spree. So it has went out and acquired a bunch of other companies. For example, here is a list of companies that Amazon has acquired from 2015 onwards, and the rate at which it has been acquiring company is unprecedented, and almost all its acquisition are tech acquisitions. That is just one part of the story. I can keep on speaking about Amazon all day long. The story will not get completed, but the bottom line is that the trend is such that we are consuming more tech, and Amazon has picked up a range of tech companies and have started to create that ecosystem more aggressively post 2015. Now, let me also back up this analysis by presenting some Amazon numbers to you, which are amazing, right? So for example, if you take a look at the fundamental data, and these are the trends of the last 3 years. So this is not a very old data that I'm talking about. So these are the trends for the last 5 years. You can clearly see that every single year, the revenues of Amazon has gone up. And I'm not just talking about some basic numbers here, right? For example, if you take a look at December 2017, right? So the numbers were standing at $177 billion. And it almost doubled, in fact, more than doubled in a 3-year time frame for a $180 billion company. This is like insanity. Now, what happens is that in tech, the profit margins are very high to begin with. All this excess cash flow or excess cash on the balance sheet, company can pick it up and it can keep on acquiring more and more and more businesses and keep on building its monopoly. So the framework that I explained in the early part of the video plays out perfectly that, hey, big tech monopoly is very likely to continue to stay as a monopoly. Now, this brings us to the third and final question that Akshat, great, awesome. Amazon is a very big company right now, but will it continue to be a really big company in the future also? My argument will be yes, that it will continue to be a very big company in the future also. In fact, it will continue to be a monopoly for a substantial period of time. And there are a few reasons why I'm saying that. The first reason is that they have massive acquisition power. Here you can take a look at this very brief chart and you will see something very interesting, that Amazon.com is a general public company. Audible and Kindle are into reading and audio listening space. Twitch is a gaming community. IMDb, Prime Video, music is in the entertainment space. And then you have Amazon Web Service, which is for corporations, B2B type of clients. So look at the variety of companies where Amazon has become really, really big. Almost all these things are a monopoly. For example, where do you go and read movie reviews? IMDb mostly. Amazon Web Service has one of the biggest clientele in the web service space. So the point I'm trying to drive home is that whatever niche area Amazon picks, it becomes really big, and all these sub companies are still left with a lot of room for growth. The second key reason why I feel that these tech monopolies are going to survive is very, very simple. That in the US, the Senate cannot break up these type of companies. You might have heard a lot of hoopla going on that they will call Zuckerberg, they will call Bill Gates, they will call this person, that person, okay, give testimony, what are you doing with customers? But at the end of the day, what? They are never able to break apart these big monopolies because these monopolies have excellent lawyers, they have excellent connections, and they keep on growing and growing and growing. And every single year, they have more cash on their balance sheet sitting. Now, third and final reason that why these big monopolies will continue to gain more and more scale is fairly simple, that they get access to the best talent. And in order to win any tech race, what you need is innovation and R&D money. And you need soldiers who can come and work for you and help you deliver that best tech. Now, tech companies portray the best vision, they have the best PR, they have a lot of money that they can pay. And very sensibly speaking, if for example, if you're a blockchain developer and tomorrow if Microsoft is hiring for a blockchain developer versus Akshat is hiring a blockchain developer, whom would you go and work for? In all likelihood, you might go and work with Microsoft because they will pay you better, you will have better structure, you will have better training and bunch of different things. So from that perspective, even these big tech companies will continue to dominate because they continue to attract the best people out there. So this brings us to the final section, that what should you be doing as an investor? So I have a few tips for you. Number one, if you are looking to put your money in tech monopolies, honestly, you can't go wrong because majority of the tech monopolies are going to be tech monopolies for a substantive period of time, especially the monopolies that are well diversified like Amazon. So these type of monopolies you are currently only likely to find in the US. So that's a great play for you. Number two, you should look at emerging tech also in the US simply because of the fact that, for example, there is a very high likelihood that something like Amazon might acquire something like Coinbase someday. So from that particular perspective, it's not bad to bet on emerging techs also. So what about India? Because Akshat, you said that you will speak about Indian tech investing also. So I feel that in Web 2.0 race, India has already lost, unfortunately, and we will not be able to compete with companies like Amazon, Facebook, Google, etc. And let's be honest, we are not really competing with these type of companies. As I said right at the start of the video, that Apple's market cap, which is just one single company, its market cap is bigger than entire India's GDP. So we are not competing with these type of companies. So India unfortunately has lost in the Web 2.0 space. In case you are not sure what Web 2.0 versus Web 3.0 is, you can check my video here. I have spoken extensively about it. But in Web 2.0, we are quite far behind. There is no positions in trying to find next Facebook or Google in India. But in India, there are a lot of companies that will come up in the Web 3.0 space. So that becomes like a very attractive space for any investor to jump into and start investing. So learn more about Web 3.0. India will present great opportunities there. You should definitely invest more time learning about that space. But if you push me and ask me that, Akshat, I still want to invest in Indian tech, what type of Indian tech should I pick? Then I would say that spread out your bets. For example, you can go and try to identify niche tech winners. An example, and this is not a buying recommendation, just an example. An example might be Zomato. For example, if you feel that, hey, in the food tech industry in India, Zomato will be a winner, then there is no harm in taking positions in Zomato. But on the flip side, if you feel that, you know what, no clear monopoly here, Swiggy will come and other hyper-local delivery players might come and take away Zomato's market share, then there is no point in taking positions in a company like Zomato. So try to identify these type of niches in India and accordingly take your bets. So in summary, I feel very strongly that big tech is going to survive and even thrive and continue to remain monopolies and continue to churn out a lot of cash. Emerging techs will become one of the biggest gainers in my opinion going forward. And third, in India, keep an eye out for Web 3.0 type of companies. And if you get to make private investments or if you can invest via the startup route, you should do it. I'll come out with a separate video. Do let me know and I will teach you how retail investors can invest in startups. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please press the like button and I will see you the next time.